call to order the meeting for August 17th, 2022, Community Engagement Commission. So I'm going to do a roll call. Commissioners, Heidi Christensen,
I'm here via Zoom.
Summer Dow,
Here.
Terry Peters,
Here.
Mark Saba,
Here.
and Aaron Maskin that he can be excused.
I make a motion that we excuse Aaron from tonight's meeting.
And second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, excuse me, I want to introduce Mark McAvoy. He's our new city administrator. Welcome to the city of Liberty Lake.
Thank you, Robin. Appreciate it.
And maybe if you could just do a brief introduction.
Sure.
We'll talk about your new agenda.
Sure, absolutely. I don't think it is. It's a green button, you gotta hold down.
How about that?
Perfect.
Okay. So to reiterate, thank you, Robin, I appreciate it. So I'm Mark McAvoy, been on the job for a little over 2 weeks. This is my third day physically here. I was remote for a couple of weeks while we were getting the family ready to move up. And that happened from just outside of Dallas, Texas. Native Texan, have had the pleasure of living in Washington State for about 5 years back in the 90s on the western side of the state. And I was stationed in McCord in the Air Force. And I spent the majority of my career with the city of Houston, working there for about 18 years and really got focused on community engagement when I was the executive director of what was called the Houston Burning Center. And that was almost exclusively community engagement with our customer base. Had also an opportunity to work really in depth with engaging the community when I was with the city of Rowlett as the assistant city manager, because we redid our strategic plan and our comprehensive plan at the same time. And you'll hear from the folks from Polco in a while, but I had the pleasure of working with Forrest Plouch when she was with Polco on that project. And so had a lot of experience doing that. So I look to bring whatever that may be beneficial to the commission in a supporting role. Look forward to working with you all. Look forward to hearing about the good things that you all are doing to promote community engagement and looking forward to being part of that process.
That's great. And we look forward to working with you too, Mark. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks.
We'll go next on the agenda for approvals. July 20th, 2022 meeting minutes.
Make a motion that we approve last month's meeting notes. Yes, that's what it is. Yeah. Meeting minutes. As written.
I was excused from that meeting, so I'm just I second the motion.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries, and it's approved. So number 4 is there anyone who has citizen comments? I think we have a visitor. Welcome.
And then Tom Salberg online, he says he has a comment he'd
Yeah.
like to make.
Okay, yes. Hi, Tom.
There
Hi,
it is.
Robin and Community Engagement Commission. I just wanted to say thanks for all you're doing. I know you had to hit the ground running, and post-COVID, even with David hitting the ground running, it's been a challenge, but I just wanted to thank you for helping us at the farmers market and the other methods of communication. I think we're being much more responsive on social media. As a citizen, I just appreciate having the information out there, and however you're doing it. As I looked at your ordinance, which some of you know that I would have been on the Community Engagement Commission with you right now had I not been put in this gig. I really am looking forward to seeing you fulfill the ordinance and the vision that I know that you're all working on again tonight. Welcome to Mark, to David, to all of you, and I look forward to working with you. And if there's anything I can do to help as a citizen, please let me know. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tom.
And so, Tom, for the council members, I should have probably more been formal, but thank you, council member Goldberg. We really appreciate you too. So next on the agenda is for presentations. David, I believe that we have Polco engagement.
Yes, we have Nick and who was the other person? What did you get?
Lisa.
Nick and Lisa
Yes.
from Polco. We've been looking at various community engagement resources for the past 3 meetings. This is the third one this group has looked at. I've spoken with Polco. God, it's been so long ago on the phone, but I wanted to have this group to have a chance to interact with them and kind of know about the services, to get your comments and your reactions and your consult on what you're seeing with what the possibilities could be with this group as well as the other ones we've looked at. I'm hoping we can kind of narrow this thing down here pretty soon. Start making use of more of these resources. So Nick and Lisa from Polco, the next 4 or 5 hours are yours.
Kind of feel about 20 minutes. Great.
Better be engaging.
We'll take it. We'll take it. Appreciate the opportunity to present and to share what we do essentially. So Lisa Dowling, she's our VP of Sales. She'll be kind of walking you through the nitty-gritty of what Polco is and how we assist communities with engaging with their citizens.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Appreciates you allowing us to present this afternoon. As Nick had mentioned, my name is Lisa Dowling. I'm the VP of Sales over here at Polco. Hopefully we don't need 4 to 5 hours. I'm out here in North Carolina time, so that is way past my bedtime. I am trying to share my screen here. Just a moment. All right. Is that coming through yet on your end?
Not yet.
Oh, no. Okay. Anything yet?
No.
No.
Okay. Nick, can you pull up the slide deck real quick? I just switched to a new laptop and it looks like my permissions are all messed up. While Nick is doing that, I'll just jump in and give everyone a high level background on Polco. So those of you who are not familiar with us, haven't heard of us before, we are a civic engagement company. So we work with communities all across the country, and our goal is to help build smarter, better connected communities. And we're able to do that through our tech platform and our in-house research division. So Nick, go ahead and...
So we are starting to get a screen change here, just so you know.
Oh, okay, perfect. I can see that as well. Nick, if you can go ahead and go to the next slide, please. All right. Oh, back one. Okay. So as I was mentioning, we're a civic engagement company, communities all across the country. We really like to think of ourselves as a one-stop shop when it comes to engagement. So on one end, we provide a tech platform that allows you to push out real-time policy polls, micro surveys to your community on different topics and issues as they come up, and gather accurate, citable feedback, verified feedback, using that data to inform decisions. In addition to that, we have our own in-house research division. Through them, we offer a suite of what we call benchmark surveys. We also provide advanced survey science and performance analytics. We've been doing this work for the last 25 years. We are exclusive partners of ICMA when it comes to one of our benchmark surveys known as the National Community Survey. Here you can see our footprint all across the country, but we have a pretty big footprint there in Washington. We work with communities in the area, Bainbridge Island, Richland, Woodinville, Pasco, Lewis County, Lakewood. There's a few others as well. We're more than happy to throw that information in a follow-up email so you have that, and can certainly connect you with any references if that's something that you would like to move forward with. So Nick, if you can, next slide, please. Next one as well. So when you take a look at our capabilities, I mentioned we have the tech platform, our in-house research division. All of our capabilities really fall into these three buckets here. So we provide professionally developed survey content. We help administer those polls, surveys, and then we also provide the analysis, or can do deep dive analysis, and also provide real-time interactive dashboards. Next slide. As far as content goes, so I mentioned we have a suite of benchmark surveys. You'll see those on the right-hand side. Those are basically out-of-the-box survey instruments ready to go that can be deployed very quickly. The first one there at the top, the NCS, that's known as the National Community Survey. That is the one that we hold an exclusive endorsement with on ICMA. And that's that specific one, we have a number of communities in Washington that conduct that on an ongoing basis. That one is like your all-encompassing community livability and satisfaction survey, touching on 10 different facets of the community. Many of our customers use that data and information to inform policy, budgeting, strategic planning, and also as a performance measurement tool. So the first year, conducting a survey like this really allows you to establish a baseline within the city, get a good understanding of where you're at across all 10 aspects or facets of the community. And then as you use that data to inform decisions, roll out new programs and initiatives, you can benchmark against yourselves year over year and measure the progress that you are making as a community. Below that, we have some other benchmark surveys that are a little bit more topic focused, one geared toward the older adult community, the business community. We have two geared toward public safety, so one measuring perceptions of safety in the community and police and resident interactions. And then we also have internal employee surveys, a general one that spans across all government departments. And then we also have one that is specific to the police department, public safety, that really takes a look at retention and recruitment, as we know is a big issue all across the country today. So those are our benchmark surveys where we're conducting address-based, scientific, random samples to yield those statistically valid results. And we really do all the heavy lifting for you. But in addition to that, I mentioned we have our tech platform. All of this sits on our tech platform that allows you to push out these micro polls, micro surveys in real time, different topics, issues, projects, things you want to engage the community on and get verified citable feedback. So within our tech platform, we have a library of content, all of which has been developed by our in-house research folks. So you can use that as is. So you're not having to spend staff time worrying about creating your own content. Am I asking the question in the right way? Is it neutral, non-leading, free of bias? So we have content on the platform to help you be successful. Now, many of our customers that start off with benchmark surveys, they'll use that to get the big picture, identify areas that they want to dig deeper into and explore further. And then what they do is they turn to the online platform, posting those micro polls and surveys, digging deeper into those specific topics and issues. So everything that we do is really meant to be ongoing engagement. It's not a one and done survey. It's continual engagement year round. So you have this constant pulse of what's going on in the community. One thing we definitely learned from COVID is things evolve rapidly. And so instead of waiting a year or 2 years to conduct another community survey, for example, many of our customers are now doing that annually because things change so much in a year. As I mentioned, we also help with the administration. So for those benchmark surveys, we're doing representative random samples. That ensures that the results are representative of the broader community and that you're not just hearing from the same vocal few over and over again. So we do that through an address-based random sample. We pull the list, we geocode the addresses to ensure they're within the boundaries, and then we do multi-mode outreach to really ensure equity across the respondents. So we'll do paper-based surveys as well as an online component. In addition to that scientific sample, we do an open participation component. So that's where we'll take that same exact survey, open it up to the entire community. Everybody can take it, feel like their voice is being heard, but we keep those results separate from the random sample. That way it does not affect the scientific results. For the online platform, any of those smaller polls or surveys that you may be pushing out, it's all web-based. They all have their own unique URL that you can then embed in your website, share on all of your different social media channels, share with your community partners. If you have an email distribution list, you can blast that out to everyone, drive up awareness around your Polco profile, around that particular survey to drive up participation. A big differentiator between Polco and a SurveyMonkey, for example, or other survey tools out there that do similar things. One, our platform is built on a verified delivery system. So we hook up to public databases on the back end. That allows us to verify respondents automatically, verifying their residents of the community and pulling in demographic information. So that's one key differentiator. And two is that when you would have your own Polco profile for the community, residents, business owners, stakeholders, they can subscribe to your profile. So that way, as you're pushing out different content throughout the year, they're notified through a proactive email. And then what you are doing is you are building this standing panel of residents that you can engage with at any point in time. So you're accumulating that digital panel of followers, and it's not another app that they're having to monitor. It's more of that proactive outreach or that proactive notification. Next slide, please. And then analytics. So for all of our benchmark surveys, we are doing the deep dive analysis for you. We're actually doing all the heavy lifting from survey administration, outreach, all the way through analysis. At the end of that benchmark survey process, we are handing over that final report to you, which is basically, breaking down all of that data. You have an executive summary, you'll have your results per facet of the survey, and then so you'll have your results, but because it's a benchmark survey, what that means is that we will show you how you stack up against our benchmark comparisons all across the country. So I mentioned we've been doing this for the last 25 years. We have the largest database of benchmarking data. It's proprietary. And so the NCS, for example, you'll have your results, but you can see, are you above, below, or similar to that benchmark? So instead of comparing, public works to the fire department, those are two very different departments, different services. You can compare your public works department to other public works departments. And so it really just provides another perspective. So for the benchmark surveys deep dive report, we will make sure everybody here gets samples of our report so you can see how detailed they are, how you can use that data to inform different decisions. And then as far as the tech platform goes, the real-time policy polling and surveying, you have real-time interactive dashboards. So you can see what participation looks like across that particular survey, have breakdowns by demographics, the actual results itself. And then it gets much more granular than that. So the ability to look at sentiment geographically, sub-geographically. So if you break your community up by council districts, wards, precincts, you can take a look at how that data changes or varies, even at a sub-geographic level, and even have the ability to do cross tabulations. Our engagement platform is really more than just a tool seeking feedback. So when you push out that survey, whether it's on, a capital improvement project, or it's, a poll to understand sentiment related to, a particular issue, or maybe a bond initiative, you have the ability to provide background information when you're pushing out that poll and survey. So that can be in the form of a narrative. You can include images, videos, links to additional websites for more information. So that way, prior to anybody taking that survey or that poll, they are well informed on the topic. And then even on the back end, after you collect all that data, you have the ability to share outcomes with all of those respondents. So whether it's the actual data that you've collected or the action you will be taking, that really completes the entire life cycle of engagement. So not only are you soliciting feedback, but you're actually able to show your residents, show your stakeholders how their voice is having an impact on the community and different decisions that are being made. Next slide, please. And then one last tool I want to share with you. This is called Polco Live. This really combines in-person live engagement, but gives you the ability to get citable results. So think, just like the meeting we're having now, if you open these up to the public so people can come in and sit and listen in real time, or you're streaming it through Zoom so people can follow along at home. If you're wanting to engage the audience and get feedback on a topic that you're discussing, through our Polco Live tool, you can spin up a live poll, a live survey. Everybody there in person or following along at home through Zoom or Google, whatever streaming device you're using, they can respond in real time. So within 30 seconds, you have this real-time verified citable data. So again, all those respondents verifying their respondents from the community and then pulling in that demographic information. So it's accompanying all of the results. So I'm going to go ahead and pause there. I know that's a lot of information to take in initially. The key takeaway is, we are a one-stop shop for engagement. So whether you're looking to do a bigger scientific survey for strategic planning, performance measurements, budgeting, we can certainly assist there. We are also often engaged on custom projects because we have our own in-house research folks, data survey scientists. Many customers come to us where they have a very specific need, topic, and they need us to develop questions around that. So whether it's a scientific survey or it's just monthly, quarterly engagement out to the community to get a pulse on different things, we can definitely be your partner. So any questions at this point, feedback, any areas you'd like to dive deeper into?
Hi, this is Robin. Can I ask you a quick question, Lisa?
Yes.
So you're saying, according to that, if I'm understanding, just to make sure, that you can pull in data that's qualitative as well as quantitative, because some of our questions or comments are open-ended, which are helpful for us too. And so this is able to do also that feature.
Yeah, so with the benchmark surveys, that suite of benchmark surveys I showed you, those are standardized survey instruments where the questions are set that allows us to preserve the benchmark comparisons. Very, very detailed information. Within that, we do not have any open-ended questions out of the box. There is the option to add one on. We do recommend against it on our benchmark surveys because they're already pretty lengthy. And open-ended questions can affect the response rate. Now, when it comes to the online micro polls and surveys, you have the ability to create your own poll surveys entirely from scratch. And there's so many different ways that you can format it. So it could be multiple choice, it could be scale 1 through 5, or it could be an open-ended questions, and then you get those results back in like a word cloud format. And then the ability to provide comments, especially for the Polco Live tool that you're looking at here, the ability to answer a poll, answer a survey, but then also comment on it. Or you can turn the comments off, because I know some communities are for that and some don't want to go down that road.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Lisa, this is Summer Darrow. I have a couple of questions. First of all, thanks very much for your presentation. Really appreciate all your thoughtfulness and deep answers already. Quickly, you mentioned a paper option. What are examples of your paper options that you do or you've done?
Yeah, so going back to the benchmark surveys, for any public facing benchmark survey, we do multi-mode. So when we do that address-based random sample where we're randomly selecting households to take part in that scientific survey, we actually do a couple of mailings. So the initial mailing is like a postcard, letter, cover letter, letting them know, hey, the city is conducting the survey. Why, please take part in this. All of the mailings have your branding, your logo on it. So we're basically an extension of you. It's going to look like it's coming from you, which helps lend legitimacy. So they'll have that cover letter. In there will be an actual physical paper survey. So if they want to take a paper survey, filling in the boxes or checking the boxes, they can. We also provide a postage paid return envelope. So they would mail all of that back to us. You don't have to worry about any of it. And then if they didn't want to do the paper option, they have the ability to go online and take the digital version. So,
Sorry.
oh, go ahead.
This is about like an event or something. If we were to not mail them, is that something do you ever have stacks of them somewhere or anything like that you use as well that we get back to you?
Yeah, so some of our communities, when for like the platform where they're doing those micro polls and surveys, I do have some communities where they'll create like a QR code and use that to promote it at like an event, or they'll keep paper copies on hand at the city hall, or they'll set up kiosks at city hall or at the library. So that way all folks, really have the ability to take part in the survey.
Awesome, thank you. And my second question, typically, for the administrative, like the dashboards and things like that, groups like ours, is there a point person who's sort of well-trained on this side? I mean, it's all obviously fairly user-friendly, but what's your experience been? Has it been someone who's really taken the deep dive and kind of make a position out of it? Or is it kind of everyone all getting in there?
Yes, so great question. So the way we provide our offering or our engagement solution, it's really meant to be used citywide. So you may have some departments utilizing social media today for engagement. Maybe you have some departments using SurveyMonkey. We see everything, and so this is really meant to replace SurveyMonkey, provide a tool that can be used across all departments in a standardized way. Whether you want to give access to the individual department heads, that is absolutely okay. Or if you want to designate a point person, sometimes it's like the communications director, where they're the ones, uploading programming and pushing out those surveys. There's a lot of flexibility. You can have multiple administrators on here. You can have different levels of users. So you can have like your super users who know how to do everything. And then maybe you have some folks who don't want to post the surveys, but they want to have access to the data. So that's more of like a read permission. So that is available. We really view this as a true partnership. So you will have your own dedicated customer success manager. And so we go through an entire onboarding process. They're there for you the entire way, as long as you are a customer of ours. So we're going to train you as well as anybody who wants to utilize and access this system. Even within Polco, we have a lot of tutorials. So online training, videos, it is very easy to use, very intuitive. Even when you're creating your own poll or survey on the tech platform, it's like a tutorial. It basically walks you through it as you go along. But should you have any questions or need assistance from us, like I said, you have that customer success manager. We also provide ongoing, like quarterly content. So every quarter, we'll roll out different content that you can take advantage of, like surveys that are ready to go, quarterly clients or quarterly customer webinars that you have access to. Some of the topics range from, what's a good engagement program look like, to how to create a good survey question so it's neutral, non-leading, but also designed to get you the information that you're looking for. So as I mentioned, we've been doing this for the last 25 years. And our goal is to help, you be successful on the platform. And so we're there every step of the way.
Enchantress. Could I ask a follow-up question? This is Robin. And so with regards to your platform and your training, so is this access readily available to those that are permitted through the city? Like David, would you permit us to have access to this information, surveys and et cetera? Is that, how are you thinking on that with distribution and who has access?
Is that a question for me or for Lisa?
Probably for both,
I'll let Lisa take that first.
okay?
I think you address that with multiple administrators though, right?
Yeah, so you can definitely have multiple administrators. Now with the tech platform, it's all web hosted. So we're hosting, providing, maintaining all of that technology for you. You're not having to go out and purchase, hardware or software. Now you can have multiple administrators. There is an admin side, so like a back end that only city staff, admin, people with credentials that are added to the system, they'll only have access to that. And then there is the public facing side where that survey, is hosted on the Polco platform. There's a link. So there's an interface where the public, your residents, your business owners can go to actually take that survey. And again, we are very, concerned, or not concerned, but we're always conscious about survey fatigue, response rates. And so that's also where that customer success manager comes in. They're going to guide you on best practices. They're going to guide you on, outreach when it comes to helping build your subscriber base, tying these surveys and polls to different social media tools that you may be utilizing today to drive up awareness. The platform itself, when residents or just key stakeholders go to take this survey, we have really spent a lot of time reducing friction. We want folks to keep coming back. And so there is the option for them to create an account. If they decide to create an account, it's name, email address, and zip code. Super basic information. If they want to provide demographic information, they can. And so we ask for a little information over a period of time. So it's not all up front, because we're asking for it all up front. They're less likely to create that account. They're less likely to keep coming back. So we want to reduce those friction points. And so with that account, like I said, that's optional. You can turn it on. You can make a requirement. You can set it per survey. So some of our customers that are pushing out sensitive surveys, maybe related to police safety or equity and inclusion, they'll actually turn on guest response functionality. That allows folks to take the survey without having to log in or create an account. Now, regardless of the accounts and the guest responses, we have a very strict privacy policy that we adhere to at all times. There is absolutely no way to identify an individual respondent back to their responses. So we're always protecting that respondent data.
So I think that's important, is anonymity. And we had that discussion at the last month, and so I'm trying to take everything that you provided with me and just think that through. If I was to do a survey and the access, and who has it and how, but how also can we get us as a commission that end results also, because we need that. Our ordinance says that we need to make recommendations to the mayor and city council when we do these community engagement activities, and sort of pulling it all together. That's all.
Was that a question or a comment? I only caught bits
That
and
was just a comment of,
okay.
you know, hopefully this can fit in with all of the activities that we need to use this for.
Lisa, this is Mark Sala. Tonight, we're looking at our 2023 budget. What's the cost on this?
The costs, so we have two different plans. We have one plan that's for the online platform only, not including benchmark surveys. So you just want to utilize the online platform that gives you unlimited polls, unlimited surveys all year long, access to our library of content, the Polco Live tool, the customer success manager, the onboarding. So that is $6,500 a year. And then if you want to get into the benchmark survey area, that's our next plan up. We call it performance. The starting point is $17,000 per year. That allows you to do one benchmark survey of your choice per year. And then there are some optional items that you can add on. Language translations. We can translate the survey into any language that you may need. We can do, or we offer presentation of results. Many customers do opt to add that on, especially first-time customers. That's basically where one of our senior team members would remote or come out in person, do a presentation to council or a staff meeting, basically going through the survey process, the methodology, going over the findings and what all of that means. In addition to that, we do provide next steps workshops. So a lot of our customers, they struggle with the after the survey. So we've got all this data, but what does it mean? How can we use it? And so that's where our next steps workshop may be of value. So again, it's a senior team member meeting with you all, going through that data and how you can use that data to inform different decisions, roll out programs, initiatives, things like that. So we're more than happy to provide a ballpark quote or put that in writing if that's appropriate. I know you're talking to three other folks. I don't want to do anything that would roll us out from a procurement standpoint.
This is Summer again, just with a quick question about the language translations. With the sort of more basic, the non-performance package, is there any additional languages, or is it just English only?
So it's Spanish, and then most of our customers will have their folks use like Google Translator.
Okay, and then what about other accessibility needs? Obviously, inclusion and accessibility is sort of a main thing for us here, trying to make sure we're engaging with everyone.
Yes, so that's where the multi-mode comes in. So even for the non-benchmark plan, just the online engagement plan, even though it's all done web-based, tying it in with social media, blasting out, the emails, inviting folks to take the survey that way. We also have a number of customers where we send postcard invitations to their homes as a reminder that way. We can do random samples for the non-benchmark plan as well. That would be an additional cost, but that's an option. We can add on paper surveys. That would be an additional cost, but we can certainly do that. And then we have the ability to oversample harder to reach areas, demographics. One of the nice things about the dashboards, one of the dashboards you get in the platform for every survey is participation at a geographic and sub-geographic level. So you can see what parts of the community are engaging with the survey and which areas are not. And so that could be, an indicator into maybe partnering with a local group or another partner that can help drive up participation in that area. Not only looking at participation at a geographic level, but at a demographic level, you can very easily see the age groups that you are engaging with or not engaging with. And maybe you want to adjust your strategy that way. or other demographics.
Lisa, do you have a mobile app as well, or is it strictly web-based on a computer?
We do not have a mobile app, but it is mobile responsive. So if you were to, on like the respondent side, if they were to click on a survey link, they can take it from their smartphone, their iPad, their laptop. So any mobile device will work.
I have one more question. Do you do anything more than just surveys? Can we use your system for emergency alerts to be sent out or anything like weather broadcasting or anything like that?
Hailstorms.
Event engagement.
We just had a hailstorm Thursday.
A biblical performance.
So it's not meant to be used as like a emergency notification system, but do you guys have one today? Like a gov delivery type notification?
The county does.
The county does? Okay.
My apologies. We also do have a service on the website, our city website, called Notify Me. That's a little more manually run to my understanding, so it's not as much an emergency service, but it can push out notifications when needed to the community that signs up for it.
Okay, so that anybody that signs up for that, let's say they sign up for Notify Me and they give their email address. You can actually take all of those email addresses, import them into Polco, and then you can use that to blast out like a recruitment message, inviting folks to subscribe to your profile for future polls and surveys. Or you can use that to, drive up awareness around a particular survey. As I mentioned, we're not really, the platform is not really meant to be used as like an emergency notification system. There are definitely a number of solutions out there that would definitely be a better fit, where you can capture not only email addresses, but phone numbers and actually send a text message. So it's definitely in real time. So if there's a hailstorm or a tornado or whatever, it's going directly to their phone. So I would recommend something like that. Happy to make a recommendation if you'd like.
Lisa, David here. I got one question. On the live surveys with live responses, is there a feature on there where the people who are taking the survey can see the results as they happen, as they change, versus allowing the people who are conducting the survey to be the only ones seeing the results?
Yep. So they can actually see the results in real time. So let's say you're hosting a meeting, you're pushing out, maybe it's a set of like 3 short poll questions, 30 seconds each. While they're responding, they can see how those results are changing. After that 30 seconds or however, whatever amount of time you decide on, the poll will then close, they'll have the final results. So not only can you folks see it, on the city side, but anybody taking part in that poll or survey can also see the results.
Does it work to have just the senders of the survey to see the results?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Does it work to have just the people who are sending the survey to see the results as they happen?
So just the admin side?
Yeah, I'm just looking at capabilities here.
Yep, you can do that even with the non-live polling and surveying tool even for like the micro polls and surveys on the tech platform. Let's say you're putting up a survey and you want to keep it open for 30 days. While that survey is open, any admins, you can actually go into Polco and see what that data looks like. It's considered preliminary because the survey is still open, but you can go in there, monitor it, check out what participation looks like. Maybe you decide, oh, you've got hundreds of responses in a matter of days, a little bit more than you expected. Maybe you can close that survey a little bit sooner, or you notice there's a low response rate with a particular demographic or in a certain geographic area. Maybe you want to do some additional outreach before that survey closes to boost up responses. So having access to all of that preliminary data while that survey is in progress.
Good, thanks.
This is Summer Darrow, and I promised my last question here. Since you work with other, groups that are similar to ours, personally, is there anything that's been really surprising or exciting for you that you've seen groups like ours use this for? Because we're a brand new group and we're still trying to figure out some stuff. And I was just wondering if there's anything that you saw that you were, that might be interesting to us like that.
So I see this tool used for all sorts of things. We can definitely send you some different examples and case studies. I see, the tool used for like capital improvement projects, infrastructure projects, splash pads, different bond initiatives. The police department trying to get funding for additional squad cars. So many different examples. You're not just limited to any particular topic or issue. But we will definitely pull together some examples for you and share that with you.
I'd just be interested in some kind of, if you had anything that you just kind of surprised you or things you weren't necessarily thinking. Because a lot of things you're mentioning are stuff we're dealing with, but it'd be interesting to see if you had anything new too.
Yeah, so one thing that we have done in the last year, we actually we're working with Lewis County. They're utilizing our tech platform, but they're specifically using our platform and our services to conduct surveys around ARPA funding. And basically, trying to get feedback from businesses and residents on different projects that they would like to see prioritized throughout the community, how they would like to see that funding prioritized. So that's another example that I can share with you as well.
Well, thanks so much.
Heidi, did you want to ask any questions online? We're not hearing you if you're saying anything.
She's so online, we should show her this video.
Take that as no.
We're done.
No, thank you.
Great.
I think we're through. Any wrap up?
Hello, David,
There you go.
excuse
There
me.
you go.
I'm sorry. I'm listening. I'm right here, guys. I'm listening intently. I have no questions. Thank you. I think
Okay.
Summer's reading my mind. Thank you, Summer. You're asking good questions.
Thanks, Heidi.
Well, I think, Lisa, Nick, I'm not hearing any further questions from the group. Any final things you want to let us know
I think we're set on our end. Nick will send a follow-up email to you all, just kind of recapping our conversation, sharing some different examples with you, case studies, but also some of those benchmark sample reports so you can get a sense of what that looks like. If any other questions come up, please let us know. If it's something you want to dive deeper into and explore Polco a little bit further, we can always set up another time and actually walk you through our tech platform and online demo, how you can utilize that and what some of the dashboards looks like.
yeah, we'll consider that option and go ahead and in the coming days, send me, email me some client information, like you mentioned earlier, and some of those sample surveys you've done, just so we can get a real world view, I guess, on some of the work you've done, and I'll share this with the group. And I thank you for your, in at least the case of one of you, your late night time in doing this for us.
No problem. Appreciate you allowing us to present today. Great seeing everybody. Look forward to hopefully connecting again soon.
Thanks.
Thanks, Lisa.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care. Good night.
Bye.
Okay. Any other further discussion?
I think the civic,
Civic Plus.
civic ready, I think that has a lot more to offer us.
The one from last month?
Yeah. I think it has a lot more options.
So.
I
David,
would tend to agree. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting Terry, but the fact that the other public input also handles our website.
And, you know, as some of you mentioned last month, we're really seeing two different types of services, with Civic Plus / Civic Ready versus Polco and the one in June. And it's very possible we do two things. I mean, it's two different types of outreach.
Mhm. That's what I was gonna ask when so we went with public input, okay, help me everyone, public input.
That was the
Civic
first
Plus, Polco, and do we have sort of one that we're leaning toward at all? I don't, you know, just the questions now that we've listened to everybody, we've asked a lot of similar questions. Is there any thoughts on who we're even somewhat leaning to? Because we can ask them for another interview,
Well,
can't we?
Civic Plus was gonna send us pricing and some more information on the other. What was it?
Some of their clients.
Civic civil space. Did we ever get that? from
I'll
them?
have to check my emails and I'll send it out to you. And to what degree do you remember the presentation from June?
What? I wasn't here for that one.
I know you all took notes on that.
I think they were still pretty vague. It was a rather vague.
Yeah, very.
Uh,
These last two are the
Yes.
most informative for me. This last one I could really understand, you know, but that's just me. I wish
Yeah,
this guy was here, you know.
Well, I think I was
Aaron,
gonna say, I think we maybe do a real compare and contrast sort of thing.
Yes,
Aaron as well, who's our data dude.
yeah.
And I will forward him this recording of this meeting. so
Oh,
he can
that's great.
see the
Yeah.
session.
And I believe the other one wasn't recorded. Was that what happened with our one that wasn't?
Yeah, it wasn't.
Okay, so if I could just get some sort of rundown of that one, or just again, a basic, what everyone thought, you know, that'd be helpful.
Also, just
Reach out to Adam or Aaron. too,
Sure, okay.
You know,
Great.
so
Because I'm very
David,
impressed.
guys are fast and all these.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah,
and guys, if I can interject here, I believe, David, you've been copied on some emails that I got from Graham Stone. As much as I enjoyed engaging with, what was that, the first company? It's not Public Input. Maybe it is.
input.
Yes. I just think it's unprofessional. It's been about 3 times, and I've told him I shouldn't be on that distribution list because I'm not the decision maker for the City of Liberty Lake. So if that weighs in, I think he's personally nice. I enjoyed meeting him, but just research some of the features of that product on LinkedIn. I just don't think it's as robust. So,
So what I'm thinking of, talking to the group, do you think we're ready to like look at the criteria, look at the companies and rank them together, or, you know, start ranking? Are we to that level yet? Does anybody feel?
I think we just have the 2, is that right?
Well, we have public input.
I think we're at the 2.
Really, the one last one summer was, I think it's, in my opinion, a different service.
Uh-huh.
Different needs. The comment made last month was Civic Ready is something that's more in tune with what the staff of City Hall would need versus you folks in the public engagement, which isn't a negative. It's just, oh, this is something else
Right.
we can use. So like I'm saying, maybe we end up using two.
Yeah, let's see what the cost, again, just a real rudimentary comparison would be very helpful.
I'll send you some notes I have on the last.
Cool, because they were very impressive.
Which one? I'm sorry.
This last one was very
This last
impressive.
one, I thought so.
Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah,
that in the last
yeah,
one, but
they
Dave's
were.
helpful.
Okay, so I just want to give some people, we think the 2 that.
Yeah.
And
we're down
yeah.
here, Polco.
And my recollection summer is the cost was somewhat similar between June and August.
Gotcha.
And I think the cost on Civic Ready was quite a bit less, but it's I think a much different service.
Okay. Cool.
Well, it actually was, because on the minutes, and even Aaron noted that probably, I think it was Civic Ready that really looked at what we needed, but then that other software that had it for the alerts
Mhm.
and what that portion of the city needed. And maybe you're right, maybe we just have to look at two different software programs.
Sure.
Would, I think also in terms of, public meeting laws, would you folks want to just send me your notes, your comments by email on what you think of all three services, pros and cons? And then we can just-
The three services being public and civic.
Yes,
Public and private.
I'm willing to do it, and just, I'm not casting aspersions on anyone at Civic Input. I just want to be really careful about how people approach me
Yeah.
on these software things, because I'm not a decision maker at the end of, but yeah.
Okay.
And kind of background from Heidi's comment, for some reason, she's been getting contacts from the first group we looked at. I don't think the rest of you have, and, so that's where her comments are coming from.
Oh, okay, sure. I don't blame her for being upset.
Thank you for clarifying. I appreciate it. So,
Yeah, just go ahead and send me your notes, and, we'll proceed from there and possibly make a decision next month, or, yeah.
I would like to make sure that we've got Aaron's input
Yes, absolutely.
somehow
Yes.
presented in a meeting format, so that
Absolutely.
that's not just a one of our notes that
I
kind of
agree.
goes in.
I agree.
There is going to be imperative to this decision.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, and I think we need all the data, right?
Yeah.
We need the pricing,
That's
we
right.
need,
This whole fact sheet on the
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, good. Let's go down to general business. David and Mark.
I want to go a little bit beyond just the brief introduction we had for Mark at the start of the meeting, and give Mark an opportunity, number one, to get to know you folks who are here or online. I think, Mark, when you were here a couple months ago, you met at least one, maybe two of the people at the curve of this table. So I want to have you have a chance to get to know them a little bit, and I also want to have you tell them what does a city administrator do? I know you've been on the job for like 2.5 weeks, but you've been in this business for numerous years, interacting with folks like that. So I guess first, Mark, tell them what a city administrator does, and then we'll let the group here tell you who they are and what they do.
Sure. Thank you for the opportunity. So really generally, in the style of government that Liberty Lake has, which is a strong mayor format, the mayor is the chief executive of the city. And so the city administrator would be more like the chief administrator. And so I report to the mayor. The city council is the legislative body. You have other forms of government that are arranged a little bit differently, but in our form of government here in Liberty Lake, that's essentially the breakdown. And so the city administrator is on the administrative side and is over the staff that is executing policy decisions that the council makes, primarily through the budget, through the strategic plan, through the comprehensive plan, and some other mechanisms. And so, our delivery of services in streets and maintenance and parks and police and library, and all of those services are kind of organized and overseen by the administrator, reporting to the chief executive, who's the mayor. And so that's kind of my role. And so I'd be happy to kind of hear your individual backgrounds, how you managed to arrive on, as a commissioner on the Community Engagement Commission, and how I can help support that effort as you're going through, not only choosing outreach tools, but just trying to put together the objectives that are outlined in the ordinance and getting to a place where you're making those recommendations back to the council.
Want me to go first? Oh, goodness. I lived here for 5 years. 10 years ago. Moved back here 18 months ago. I used to work with Chris, our mayor, at a previous company. So when I saw her posting of this position, I thought, It's a great way for me to get out and meet people. Cause I don't know anybody anymore over here. So that's why I got this. I work for an aerospace company. I'm a senior buyer for an aerospace company over in Everett, so on the west side. But I work from home here.
Okay,
So I travel over there once a month, travel to Montana once a month, and some places in between.
very good, thank you.
Okay, is it okay if I turn this in? Heidi, are you on Zoom? I can have you introduce yourself and then I'll go after you.
Thank you so much. I'm very blessed and highly favored to be part of this Community Engagement Commission, but moreover, to reside in this great community. So I think of Liberty Lake as almost what modern Germany has become, right? And we want it to continue to be a thriving place for manufacturers, business, residents of all ages, and welcome to everyone, a walking community. So I just wanted to get involved and been in this area since 1998 and been in Liberty Lake specifically since 2018. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Heidi. My name is Ron Metro, so I've lived in this Northwest, sort of in the Empire area between Idaho and Kew for most of my life. I've been educated here, went to college here. I've lived in Liberty Lake proper for about 12 years now. And I have a degree in planning, so I land use planning exactly.
Oh,
So
very
I
nice.
have a lot of just education and experience in.
Awesome, thanks.
My name is Summer Darrow, so it says there anyway. I'm not so sure. I've lived in Liberty Lake since December of 2018. Right now I'm kind of, I think I'm not young, but I'm the young mom person right now in this group a little bit. I have young kids. And I guess that's kind of the chapter of my life right now. I have a lot of different skills that I'm kind of trying to figure out in that place in my life where I'm trying to figure it out. I went to an arts high school for TV film. I worked in Hollywood all my life. My husband still does and keeps a foot there, sometimes doing things, tried to retire and it drew him right back. I love Liberty Lake. I mean, we were looking for a place that was like where I grew up in a little suburb of Los Angeles. But now, and we found it. And the first thing that I ever saw about Liberty Lake was the mayor back then giving some, Christmas speech or something, Christmas poem or Dickens or something. And I just thought like, wow, what a quaint little place, and that got me, and it got me interested in whatever civic engagement was. So as soon as I saw this opportunity, I live in the ghetto with Chris, our mayor as well. And I didn't dub it that. I've heard that that's what we live in. But I love it dearly. Yeah, as soon as she became mayor and I saw that also really got me, to get off my butt and actually do something, because naturally I'm engaging with people and I'm trying to figure out when things are happening and what's going on and being the best citizen that I can. I'm into that. That's something I'm like, it's maybe a little hobby or whatever. I like it. So to have a legitimate outlet seemed like a good idea.
Great.
My name is Mark Saba. I'm the opposite of Sammy. I'm the old part in this group.
It's a good balance.
Yep, well, I'm retired. I have a lot of time on my plate. Moved up here in the Northwest in 1978, a little town called Placerville, California. Been up here ever since. Moved to Liberty Lake here in 2003. And when we moved out of Boise, we moved out of Portland. I was transferred 2 times with Albertsons over a 4-year period. And the last time was out of Portland. When we moved back here in 2003, Liberty Lake was the only place we loved. And of course, it's grown a lot since then. But it's still the quaint little town that I visioned when I first moved here. I'm involved in a lot of activities because like I said, I'm retired, but being retired, I think I'm more busier now than when I sold beef jerky for Jack Lowe's beef jerky. I'm involved with, this commission here. Why did I get involved with this commission? Because the mayor told me to get on this commission. So whatever Chris says, I say, okay. No, not really. Honestly, it was an opportunity. It had Mark Saber written all over because I love to talk to people and I love to get engaged. And I got engaged to Karen, so, and we were married for 47 years, but that's a side point. But the thing is that I'm also involved with other activities outside of this commission. The Winter Glow, you'll see more as we talk about that. It's our holiday lights. We have over Orchard Park during the holidays. Also involved with the moving wall right now that we've got coming up in September. And it sounds like the other things that'll be coming down the pipe, I kind of raised my hand and said, yeah, I'll help. Yeah. But that's just me, and Liberty Lake's got me until I say I don't want you anymore, but I think I'm here for the lifetime, so that's it.
All right, thanks.
Anything else, David?
Not with that.
Okay.
We go on to the next part there.
Yeah, let's go to recent event updates, so.
I just want to cover some of the recent engagement updates that we've had, and I have actually something to say about all of them, and then I was hoping each of you could chime in on anything you've been directly involved with any of these, but Barefoot in the Park was August 6th, I think, for Saturday of August. I was hearing at city council meeting last night that they had about 131 cars in the car show, which was slightly lower than the year before, but they said they had about the same number of donations through that. First time I was there for this, and I just enjoyed seeing activities for all ages. The thing that just sticks in my mind most was there was a comment on the Liberty Lake Community Facebook site where I think it was a mother, said that she had one of her kids ask her, when is the next Barefoot in the Park going to be, or how long can we wait till the next one? And the mom says, well, it's going to be another year. So it had that kind of impact on the kid. And I got to participate in, taking new photos for this so we can have them available for next year as well, just general photos in the park to use throughout the year. And we had a couple of sort of engagement tents, but they were primarily there to give the kids their wristbands to go on the inflatables. We did a little bit of promotions of some of the upcoming movies in the park nights coming up, and a couple other items we wanted to let people know about. And anybody else want to talk about? We had a couple of the members here on the table who participated in that too. So anybody else wanted to comment on your assistance with that?
Yes, Robin?
I'll make a comment. I gotta tell you, I've been involved with Barefoot in the Park, I've been attending Barefoot in the Park ever since I moved here. And having it come back after a 2-year hiatus is unbelievable. I mean, it was awesome. It was great to see the families back out there with the little kids running around, eating ice cream, getting everything messed up. I mean, it was awesome. And the car show, I mean, it just, the concert was awesome too. Great band. I got, music I could actually sing to, So, I mean, we had a great, me, had 2 of my grandkids with me and Karen and I, and we just made a day of it and just had an awesome night. And I can't wait for next year, which will be next year, unfortunately.
Same. I mean, my kids, the first time they got to go was the last time it happened. And they've been talking about it and they got further and further away with this. Yeah, yeah. And neighbors have moved away since that. The whole thing, it was like, remember that time we were so-and-so, we were in the Hampshire Falls, we rolled down the hill, we got snow cones. I'm like, yeah, I remember. That was back to those pre-2020. Yeah. Yeah. So they were super happy to be there. And to me, it was cool personally, because I got to work our booth or be there and be engaged and have my kids be around, and we're with neighbors or friends or able to check in a small way. And I didn't feel like farmer's market, which I love doing and I love participating there. That's cool. I can't do that with my littles. There's no way. They're not gonna sit at a boring city booth. I mean, even if they tried, no one would want them there doing that. And so that's just a different type of engagement. So for me, that was awesome to be able to put those two things together, plus have a place to put my shoes so I could be barefoot in the park and not be carrying around like everyone else. But it did give me a chance to see things from a little different point of view instead of just being a citizen. I was engaging with citizens and doing something and had kind of a job there, which changed my perspective. One thing that was noted when we were there, it was hard to get to so you come in, you need a wristband to go on the inflatables and the things. Well, you get to the inflatables and things before you get to the booth, right? And so that was a little unclear to people. And then that made me think about, in general, it might be nice to have something for all of these events that's a little more regular, instead of looking for the thing that you don't even know you're looking for. Because most of the time it's like you go to do something and then you find out, oh, this is where that's happening. So maybe some consistency for other events also that we can think of. And there was something else. Oh, it brought up again, and this could be, further down in future business, but it did bring up again that it would be nice to have either shade or some picnic tables or something when we have a lot of families and a lot of events. I love sitting on a picnic blanket. I think that's great. I don't even always bring a picnic blanket and I still sit on the ground and I'm fine with that. But I feel like it would be nice for a lot of other people. Otherwise, I mean, I thought that was a great event and I enjoyed being there with Robin for a little bit and St. Mark, and I thought it was great.
So, gosh, I love working at Barefoot Park, but I really love working too at the farmer's market. And that's because you get to see and actually do, I think, substantive engagement. But here are the things that I think that could be enhanced for future, I think, either Barefoot the Parks or future events, is that, yes, we probably needed to mark our tables so that people knew how to come and get the green bands so that they knew. Also, kids really enjoyed coloring those rocks, but we probably need to get either another table, full table, or half a table, because they really enjoyed that. The interaction was great. But they also, they enjoyed all of the movies that we've been doing and we've been continuing to do. I've seen people, and they take pictures and I let them know these are free, don't forget. And they don't realize that they're free. They don't realize that they're available until you tell them, and they're really happy. The kids that were coming up there also were real excited. The families were, especially when they said, how much does it cost? And you say, oh, it's free. And then everybody was. So there was one moment when I was helping with Kelsey and I was getting everybody signed up the waiver. And one little kid was so anxious because his dad was signing the waiver and he had his little fist right in front of me and like, give me the green badge. And so I think that those moments are great. I just, I really want this in Liberty Lake to continue this and for us to just keep it better, more engaged, more participation. It's great for the families. I didn't see anybody, and maybe, I don't know about Amy, but anyway, when I was out there, everybody was in one happy mood. That's awesome. I missed that.
Oh,
I do, I have one suggestion that we might want to keep in mind later on in the year, maybe after the first of the year. I think one of the surveys that we got to think about doing, like in January, because Barefoot in the Park is in August, but to do it in January, ask the public, what more do you want to see at Barefoot in the Park? What do you want to see at Barefoot in the Park? And just leave the question at that. You're gonna get some wild answers. I want to see a rodeo, you're gonna see, yeah. But, if no answer is the wrong answer. But we can probably come up with some pretty bitchin' ideas, I think,
Well, I think so too. I think that's great, Margaret. I think we have some great options there, to enhancements on all of our community engagement that we do.
Build up from what we're, right now, we're at a high right now. Keep that high going, even throughout the year.
And just keep on trying to build on that.
Absolutely.
And enhance, and so. And then with that-
I want to see Mark Saba in a rodeo.
No, you don't. Me and horses don't get along.
That'll be fun. Also, so we had the spike ball out there, so that was set up from the community. Other, people were kind of getting the idea that they could come and play and just pick up a ball and start doing that, either while they're waiting to stand in line for waivers or where they're just passing by. Spike ball, right? So it's just a little net, we can throw the ball and, right?
Bounces off and that to the next person. It's like a little trampoline.
Volleyball style.
On a trampoline.
Play it with trampoline, like volleyball rules, it's really fun.
But
Yeah.
people were walking by, it was unmanned, and people were able to come up with their friends or, or their
Yeah.
family and participate in the game. So that made me think in sort of things like this, if we can have more,
Cornhole.
yeah, if we had more of that stuff, again,
Yeah.
cornhole's a thing up here, if we had more of that stuff, either for this specific event or for other events that really engaged people, maybe the family engages in a game together or with, other, community members. So maybe we do some team, sign up for 3-on-3 basketball, whatever the thing is, 5-minute little games or something, whether there's prizes or no prizes, and it's just engagement. I think that's an opportunity, for actual engagement. And so something I just want to throw out there again is that we have this unique group, and I think we can come up with some things we're already doing now and just figure out how to, that we're recognizing, like, oh, this is where people are actually engaging. How can we do more of this stuff and get people doing it? And maybe we could, maybe we can say you can borrow basketball from the, little concession stand or something. Maybe we start to get people aware that they can actually,
You know what the
participate
original,
like that.
thing
Tell me
theme
more,
was
Mark.
for Barefoot Park?
Tell me more.
It was playing soccer barefoot. Yeah,
It's like
we had
a
some, we had 3-on-3
I
soccer.
feel like that needs to come back on some level. Like,
Yeah.
I thought it was just a hippie,
Well, the only thing about that is where they had the 3-on-3
Is where the cars.
Where the cars are.
Sure. But again, the spike ball and, whatever, basketball, any little thing I think would just help people engage. Because I did notice, obviously, people who know each other are gonna meet up and walk around together. But for the most part, people are just showing up in their little family and they're doing things. But I think there's plenty of opportunity for people to actually, do things with other neighbors and stuff.
People were in a water feature, there was some type of water feature at the center.
Sure.
And they were really having fun with that. In fact, I was so warmed up there, that maybe I should go down there.
You're talking about those-
Splash, yeah.
You talking about little slip and slide they had?
Yes,
Yeah,
and it
that
was
was
just,
cute. That was unmanned too. It was used a lot.
yeah.
You guys really do have a unique opportunity here, because as staff attending or manning that event, it's hard for us to sometimes separate as staff and start thinking, okay, how can we improve this? What else can we do?
Sure.
Because from our perspective of sitting at like 6.5 years of helping plan that event, it can get a little overwhelming for us. So it's really helpful to have a commission where you guys go and you attend and you help. So you've got that dual perspective of it. You guys have a unique opportunity to reach out now to brainstorm ideas and see what else we could add to it. Because we had that 2-year break where, admittedly, we were like, oh, man, it's Tuesday.
Because and I agree, yeah, and then also, we finally got it, I said, do the thing, we just do the waivers, and then they kept things moving.
Yeah.
And so, and you get those unique experiences that you just, we just, like I said, we just keep building on them. Yeah.
And I would say that any of the papers that we ever have anywhere, no one's gonna grab a map for Pavilion Park when they're already there. So maybe we need another sandwich board or another, some verbal cues or something, because no one's gonna grab a map. No one's gonna do any of that. And then it's just a mess of things or whatever. So in general, I think a lot of our events are like that. People know what the park is like. They really care about what the list of vendors are, where those are, where are snow cones, how much are it, things like that. So maybe that's engaging with the actual businesses instead of just these random, carts that are everywhere, right? We actually have some pre-event engagement with these businesses so that, not necessarily advertising, but know what's going on. What are they offering? Why are they here? What do they want from us and vice versa? What would Maybe that's a survey. What do people want to see? What vendor?
I can tell you, when
Local.
I started getting calls about the yard sales,
Right.
barefoot and the summer events,
Right.
usually aren't that year.
Sure.
People are calling, okay, what are you doing this year?
Right.
And we're like, well, we'll get there. You
Right.
know,
Sure.
this is the same
Yeah.
things every year and the same general activities. I mean, you guys see opportunities for change or opportunities where you can get in with these businesses and create a little more hype because people are excited for it right away. So
Right.
if you can build on that.
Yeah, a lot of our
it's
local
the
businesses
things
are
to look
represented.
forward to,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Uh,
I just feel like a lot of our local businesses could be represented with one of their products, one of their things, something. I
That might
don't,
be a great event for us.
you know,
We can even go to the business.
I would like to do something like that and engage with
That would
businesses
be-
as part of our,
That
That's a
would
big
be
deal.
amazing. Right? I mean, right down the street from my house is Hello Sugar and Versalia's and Annie's Sweets or whatever that place is called. And
Yeah, and sweets.
yeah,
Yeah, I think our potential is really unlimited. Because it's just everything we do requires so much community engagement. So I really do think we have really great amount of unlimited potential for this group.
I feel like.
Guys, excuse me.
And
Oh, thank you. Pointed to this, I didn't go to Barefoot in the Park. I'm stretched thin. I know we all are. And I wanted to touch on something I discussed when we started in April, which was to engage Guardian Angel Homes. I haven't done that. How does anyone feel about that? Like a feasibility? And David, is there a communication we could put out or a paper survey that would engage the residents? Because Joan, their administrator, I know she wants them to have access to civic things, voting, etc.
Yeah, we will put that on the list of
Okay.
contacts. I'll talk to staff here too and find out what we can do about
And-
that.
Okay, yeah, Joan is the administrator at Guardian Angel Homes. I can't call her last name, but if you want me to kind of bird dog that, I'm happy to do it. So thank you, guys.
And I will actually be talking about something a little bit later on that I think will directly involve that. It's something.
Okay. All
I
right,
just want to
perfect.
remark before we leave the Barefoot in the Park stuff, just a thought on, we showed up, Robin was dutiful and actually signed up for her slot. I just sort of showed up the last minute. Yeah, just desperately. But I was thinking that maybe we could be some sort of hub for official volunteerism as a group, right? So, Barefoot in the Park doesn't necessarily have to be manned by the 6 of us or 7 of us, and whatever that is. Maybe we become known as an actual engagement group
This was a conversation Summer and I had while we were at the tent.
while we were engaging with the tent. But some version of that, whether that's through the website that we currently have, whether that's through our current communications, whether that's through our new, whatever our new situation is, asking for volunteers specific to events. We could do it as crazy as time slots, or we could do it as like Winter Glow. I'm sure you're already kind of in that space already where you get people to actually help. Yeah, exactly. But you've experienced that, right? So maybe we take what doesn't work for you and find out how we can get, just if people do want to do stuff, maybe that's a way to do it. We encourage people maybe to do it 2 families at a time so that the kids can stay with one neighbor and think of ideas for ways to not say no. Because I would say no for sure. That's why I didn't sign up, because I didn't know what I was going to do. And then I got there and the neighbor said, yeah, we are going to go around one. We are going to do this. And we were able to do it. So. End rant. Thanks.
Good information, not a rant. Thanks.
Farmers market.
Okay, I'm going to try to speak through the rest of these.
Yeah.
Some of these won't take as long as Barefoot because a few of these aren't even as interesting as Barefoot. But that's not the case with the next one here, though. Farmers market. Number 1, we've got a news update. As of last night at the city council meeting, the city council voted to allocate the remainder of their ARPA funds, which means we are officially done with asking the ARPA question.
Yes.
At farmers market.
Praise God.
So that leads into, we'll need some consideration, some ideas from you, whether tonight or contacting me during the days and weeks ahead. What other survey questions you want to engage the public on? One idea I had, and it's actually is related to one Mark addressed here. I was thinking with Barefoot having just happened, maybe now could be a time for maybe a week or two most for now. Since it's kind of fresh in people's heads, ask them now, what were your favorite parts about Barefoot in the Park this year? And then, certainly not get rid of the idea to do it again during the start of 2023, but that's a possibility. I need to also talk with Mayor Chris to find out to what degree we need members of this group there during the coming weeks. She has been able to get people from the school district there in recent weeks. So I need to find out for sure from her to what degree she needs you folks there to help assist with the booth and, make sure we're not overpopulating it. Any other comments on farmers market?
So I'm signed up for, because I just, I did all that sign up sheet for this Saturday, so I will show up there. If you don't need me, then.
You're probably gonna be needed because Chris is not gonna be there.
That's true.
She's
That's
got
right,
another-
she said that last night.
Yeah,
Okay, so.
so it probably wouldn't hurt if you are there. I want to make a comment, and I don't want to be a draw here, but I'm not very happy after last night's city council meeting. City council met 3 times over the last 2 weeks. First, and they talked ARPA money all 3 times. First time was for monies for Ridgeline High School band, which I thought was fantastic. Okay, 4% of the ARPA money. Second thing was for the library, the 1.5 million for the library,
Right.
ARPA money. That remained, the final amount was $98,000 for the maintenance building. So they put that. Here's what really upset me last night. We worked our buns off for the last 6 weeks, surveying people, doing these surveys. City council never looked at. Never looked at.
Mark, are you assuming that, or do you have?
Oh, I know
I
it
know
for a
you're
fact.
upset, but I'm just saying.
I was at-
Okay, well, don't,
okay,
please don't
I
yell.
did, yeah.
Don't yell.
No,
Don't yell.
I'm just telling you, Heidi, I attend every city council meeting. And
I know you do, but I'm saying even if they didn't discuss it, how do you know they didn't review it? That's all. I'm just
All I'm
asking
saying
an
is
objective
that-
question.
all I'm saying is that, as far as I know, it was never shown to them. I don't know.
I can clarify one thing. There was one meeting where, what is Kyle's position?
Kyle Dixon is the finance guy.
Yes, he did report results from the combined survey at that time. This is like a month and a half ago.
Mhm.
So there was one time.
Okay,
that
I stand corrected, but the thing that got me was that, we spend all this time, we give these surveys out and none of the suggestions that we even brought up was discussed, and, that's, and I'll shut up.
You don't have to shut up, but you don't, don't assume that wasn't used. That's all I'm saying, because I know David has transmitted that to all the proper parties. So I guess I just had to defend David because I know he's communicating. So I don't know where the culpability would be with city council. Who's the head there, but for the commissioners.
That, to put it in the simplest and bluntest of terms, that sometimes happens, where legwork is done and just because of, it's closer to the budget season or what have you, push to get, the funds allocated immediately. Sometimes something gets a little lost in translation. Not that I know for a fact what did or didn't happen or didn't get reviewed. I'm sorry about that.
No, I appreciate
By
that.
that
I do appreciate.
part of.
I would argue though that we have valuable information that although we don't maybe use ARPA funds, some of our things are not big budget, crazy asks, frankly. Some of them I think we could figure out other ways to get done and we should maybe push for some of those things if we feel passionate about those things. And although, yes, that was a slight for all that effort, I would argue we have valuable information and we should maybe push for it if we care.
And would you be okay with me for the next week or two? Just ask people, what was your favorite thing about Barefoot in the Park?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And-
yeah, that's great. I just
And,
think
uh,
we're gonna
and
take polls.
yeah, chime in here, and Mark, I know you've been at all the meetings. However, I just want to make sure on the record, since we're a public group and there's a public meeting, that we give people the benefit of the doubt. But I do think Mark has a point. If we're going to do this work, we want to make sure that we're not just another useless bureaucracy that's being used like a puppet click, right? So that said, Mark, please don't yell at me. Quiet. It's already bad enough that you don't share your gum, but I didn't mention that. No, that's all right.
I just think if everything that we're gonna do, I mean, we're looking at all the software for surveys, right? If we're not gonna use any of that public input, they're going to stop responding to them. Right? You're not going to have a happy community. So if nobody sees anything being done with any of their suggestions, and decisions are just being made without any, look at input or whatever review of it.
Yeah.
The community is gonna stop doing it.
Summer said the key word,
Trust.
which is just pushing.
Push.
Parks and Rec Commission, I struggled is a strong word, but it was a push to get funds allocated at the beginning of that commission starting. It was almost, I don't want to say like a trust exercise, but a lot of it was building trust with the council so that it was easier to get the funding and it was easier to make your case for things. I'm not here or there on that, but pushing into the right way to view it is, don't feel knocked down, feel just ready to keep going with the next thing and keep going until you're getting an answer that at least you're comfortable with.
There were some significant comments on the ARPA, and I would agree with Commissioner on this same thing now. Number one, the ordinance, as we're going through these mission statements, and I went back, looked at the ordinance, and it specifically says that the commission makes recommendations to the city council. Now, and we can do it orally or in a written report. I always prefer the written report so that we have that, and I think we need to start adjusting that process, right? So that we are in front of them in uniform, all of us, and say, this is our report, this is our recommendations. Now, take this and listen, because this is a part of your decision-making process.
Yeah, it's a good lesson learned. Maybe we don't give all the papers that we collect to someone on city council, we do it and we put it together and we get the data.
Yeah.
And then we present. We don't just say, here's.
Yeah, like here they are, and then they get lost. or something.
According to the bylaws, the group is, I don't want to use the word required, but it's written down that the group should make a report. It says once a month to the city council. That could be included in that report, which Robin's done. We've had Mark do it once or twice. So if we have any recommendations from the previous month, that could be presented as part of that.
But I
it's a good
think,
comment.
I agree, but I think it should be written. So I think if the next time that we have our monthly report, we do our monthly report and we hand them a written report.
And,
Yeah.
and then we hand it to them as a part of
These
that.
are our
and say, you have any
suggestions.
questions, and let's discuss, and let's bring it right up in front of them. And so that they can talk about why, either they're not accepting the recommendations or why, they are. So I attended that same meeting with, I went on the same, so, and yes, they used up the ARPA funding between Ridgeline High and the library property, but
That's only the first 1.5 million, right? They have,
No, that's the
That's
whole
the
thing.
second.
That's all.
this is the
It's gone.
whole-
It's all gone.
and where did it all go to?
It went to Ridgeline High School, 100,000 went to Ridgeline High School.
1.5.
1.5 went to the library, and then the remaining million or 980 went to the public building.
And I know there were a few other things that were allocated earlier there.
Earlier, yeah, there was 200,000, that 270,000 went to nonprofits.
HVAC.
And we were anticipating a second round because that first round for nonprofits was monies that was lost in 2020. We still had monies that we lost in 2021. After last night's vote, we can get our nonprofit, so, okay, we move on. So that's okay.
I mean, yeah, there would be nothing more than have to go through the city council, kind of that report, and go through the statistics, so they have to justify. You know, we're getting this information and to say why we're not going to, I think they have the right, because we're a recommending body.
Right.
They have the right to make that decision, but please justify it to us so that we can't sit here wondering.
Well, yeah,
what
but
we
now we
doing?
have to answer to the community.
Yeah,
That's
Right?
right.
Next
Terry.
time we're sitting out, you know,
At
at farmer's market and
yeah.
someone comes in and says, well, where'd the money go?
Here's the PR guy and me talking. There, I think the number one item most voted on was actually support for the library. So you can at least say that. If I recall.
I
if
know
I
what,
recall the
you
conversation.
see, this is
If
where,
people ask you that question.
Yeah.
but this is where I'm lost, that we all collected individually all this data, but we never get to see it all in one report, so all of us can review it in animal.
Yeah, and
I
that's
have a
clear.
problem with
Well,
Yeah,
hopefully
and
our
I
new-
think, after getting, listening to
Yeah.
these, the last 3 months, listening to these people pitch their business, that problem will be resolved when we decide which company to go with.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We need to even get to look at the data ourselves before we make the recommendation.
Yeah.
Right,
That's what we should have done.
It's just not, we didn't get the chance to do it with Trailhead, but yet,
We're new.
yeah.
yeah, like Terry,
But we're
like
smart.
Terry said, we're new and it's another stumbling block, Hey, we fell down again, so we went.
But we
brushed
got a lot of
ourselves up.
info.
Yeah,
got
we
a
sure
lot of
did.
info.
We sure did.
And we worked hard.
Yeah.
I want to tell everybody.
Well,
all of us
and-
worked great.
And as a pilot, we can do a compiling of the data for the barefoot in the park
Yes.
question. I mean, it's not a world-changing question, but at least it gets the ground rolling.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And maybe for farmer's market too. I mean, I don't see a lot of questions about what would you rather see at farmer's market or what do you like or not like at farmer's market. I mean, I don't know. There's room for that maybe too on something.
Just as, you don't actually want to.
That's right.
Yeah, sure. But it, but, you know, and again, yeah, not for the whole overall thing, but it is a place where we all are. And I think we have to start thinking like that as a group too, that it's not just things that we have put on as a city. It's a, what's the word I'm looking for, but it's a non-official, obvious community event. And I think we have a few of those too that aren't officially on the calendar, but everyone like me is gonna think, oh, that's us, right? Because that's what we do. So maybe there's something
Movies in
there.
the park. That's not city.
Yeah,
We sponsor them because.
Oh, do you?
Yes, Town Square Park is city property, so we sponsor it.
right,
It's not our own revenue.
Right.
But they
right.
are involved with us, so that way. they-
And we do have booths
So
there and
is-
we do
is-
do things.
So
there.
because the movies in the park, because they're like at Pavilion or Rocky, or that's still city sponsored then?
City sponsored.
Even though it's run by the Kiwanis or, okay,
For the pavilion.
A lot of it's like a
Okay.
nonprofit.
So I think you're wrap this up, we can move on.
okay, sorry.
We
Yep.
have to move on. I'm so sorry, but.
No,
but we have
you're
to
the
move
boss.
on. So, David, Granicus.
Yeah, I can send you these real quick. Stop me if you have comments. Granicus webinar, this is a company that, among other things, is a service for one of the systems we use to videotape meetings, not the OWL, but like the city council meetings. They offered a webinar about 2 weeks ago that was done live. I think Robin logged into it. I did as well. It's about 30 minutes. I sent you all the link. It's just, to me, a very basic set of 10 ideas of ways you can improve your experiences with outreach to the community. To me, it was very basic information just because with my background, it was kind of all obvious things. But if you want to go on the link, it's about 30 minutes long. You can get most of what you need out of the first 20 minutes though. And it's just basically very basic marketing ideas. I don't know to what degree it would be a benefit to you, but it's good background information for maybe for you to know. Robin, anything you wanted to add to that?
I like the webinar.
Yeah. Then open public meetings and training. I sent you all the link to that after the last meeting. I have received completion certificates from, I don't think all, but most of you. If you have not done the training yet, or if you just have not sent in your completion certificate, we do need to keep those on file here, so I'll keep a copy on my computer. Kelsey will keep a copy here. Did anybody have any, for those of you who've done it, any general takeaways, any questions, any disagreements? Any bits of confusion you had with some of the points that were raised in that? To me, one of the key things to keep in mind is the idea of the rolling meeting, which can occur if you're starting to use like an email chain to contact each other. And if at some point we get to a quorum of a group chiming in on something that's could be defined as action being taken, we do want to avoid that. To me, there's, and correct me if I'm wrong, anybody else who's here around the table, Mark or anybody else. If you're just doing a response to everybody saying, thank you, to me, a thank you is not action being taken. It does kind of clog up the email system though, to have everybody see everybody else's thank you or something like that. I had that happen at the previous job I worked at. I try to get people to stop doing the reply all. Don't do the reply all if we don't really need all of us to see it. If you want to thank an individual person, just do the reply button. Don't do the reply all to thank the person you want to interact with. But watch anything that could be in the category of making a decision or offering ideas that would lead to making a decision, which could later be a decision made officially by the city council. Yeah, but if you need to rewatch that section from the, I think it's Association of Washington Cities version of the training, where they talked about the rolling meeting or email meetings or social media, things that could end up being an unscheduled public meeting. If any of you have questions on that, feel free to contact me one-on-one. Robin, item number 7, I can introduce these real quick.
Yeah, we need to go through these and look at the upcoming engagement opportunities.
Cops, cars, and cruisers happening on Saturday. It's only a few days away, but if anybody wants any assistance with helping to promote that through your social media, through your local organizations, I have done some graphics on these that I can email you for anybody to send them out or post them up on a bulletin board where you work. We can do it for the cops event, the cops, cars, and cruisers. Liberty Lake Throwdown is not officially a city event. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tate.
It is a greenstone event,
Yes.
that there again, because it takes place at Orchard Park, the city sponsors.
And Hub Sports Center is highly involved with that one.
Yes, Phil with the hub, you may or may not know him, he's pretty active in the community, he is also part of that.
The
Right,
throwdown is that,
it's the bean, like the beanbag tournament.
Cornhole.
It's a cornhole tournament, yes.
Registrations for teams for that ended about a week or so ago, but you can certainly still go there to watch from, I think, 1 PM
I hope so.
to, I think it's like 4 or 5 in the afternoon. We are going, we will be here till 1 AM. Again, anybody want
I have a
to add to it, feel free to do
question
so.
on the cops, cars, cruisers, Living Lake Throwdown, maybe it's Shakespeare's part, but I find that the events I've been going to, do we have any swag we can put out there?
Yes, for those of you going, we talk about farmers market or other things.
It can be farmers market. I think swag is appropriate for cops, cars, and cruisers, and Liberty Lake Throwdown. I don't know about Shakespeare. and Spokane.
Cops, cars, and cruisers, I do have some signage designed up for that, so if you want to email me on that, I will send it out to you. Backing up with that, I did promote, I forgot which item it was, but we promoted something about a week ago. And we had somebody from the community on Facebook ask if there was any signage they could put up in her place of business. So I did a public reply. And I said, yes, we do have a poster, send me your email address. And I said, in fact, if anybody else is reading this, send me your email address. We will give you a PDF of the 11x17 poster. I had 2 people respond.
Do we have an official way of doing that in general, or anyone who wants to just get on their feet, or do we have something that typically happens where we walk around to our businesses and ask them if they want to put a poster for the thing? Is that a thing?
I do that all the time.
I was
I
kind of
did
going
it
to
with a moving wall and I do it for winter glow.
just because you're a good guy, but do we have a game plan for, I'm saying, that's, if we didn't have him, what would we do? Do we have a plan for our group to do things for businesses?
I do have that for one that I'm gonna talk about, but I'm kind of thinking we need to do with more officially city-sponsored events.
Right,
I see one coming
Use this
up right
group
now.
to,
me too.
But also, you know, there's a
Right.
I think
Right now.
events where it's appropriate, you know, that one time we talked about just swag, you know, and that would be helpful.
Shakespeare in the Park, that's not a city-sponsored event, that's an outside group. We had somebody come in, I think last Thursday or Friday, with this little stack of 11 by 17 posters and these handouts. So those handouts are available in the bin for farmer's market for this Saturday. The event is on Sunday. We didn't get a lot of lead time on it. The person, like I said, the only person only came in on, I think, Friday. I think those were in the farmer's market materials for the last Saturday and for this Saturday. So that's, Robin, that's available for you for handing out. I did quickly distribute the few posters I received to a couple local places, the library, next door. We put it up here on the door here as well. Okay, Spokane Symphony Concert. We are officially involved with that, and here's where we lead into how you can help out. I have designed some posters for this. So if any of you want to pick one up and take it to your place of work, your community, Heidi, if you wanted, this is what I was getting into with Heidi.
Thank you.
If you want to come over here sometime, get a copy of one of these 11 by 17 posters, rather than having me email it to you and having to go through the cost of printing it on your own on large paper. They're here at City Hall. I think this is the type of event those people at Guardian Angels Home may be wanting to attend and know about. From what I understand, it's a great popular event. Hundreds and hundreds of people fill up the park to attend this. Coming up on Labor Day weekend, correct, on that Saturday. So if any of you want to take some of these tonight, grab them. If anybody wants me to email you a PDF of this, let me know, we will do that. I also have a Facebook social media graphic you can copy from me or be shared off from the city's website. Anything else on that event?
Is there anything we can do at the event?
I've not been to it.
Enjoy it.
Very engaging.
Honestly.
With
enjoy it.
events like the Spokane Symphony or Shakespeare in the Park, while they're outside groups, it is city sponsored and you probably go through the avenue of being able to utilize the park. Those ones are definitely more kind of sit and enjoy, only because of the nature of the event.
Sure, and having been to these,
But-
I think that this is where we actually are engaging with people. So again, I'm not saying have a little booth,
Oh,
but
no.
you know, I'm just saying, what do we have? Or maybe this gets into our mission stuff, but do we have a plan for when we're out?
That's when we start getting into your end. That's
Yeah.
exactly what
I think it's more like
with our mission. And
the organization of looking maybe like more official in that regard.
Maybe, but maybe we have some talking points, maybe we have some goals, maybe we, I don't know, make ourselves known in some way. I'm just putting it out there that this is one of those events where people are happy to engage with their neighbors, and we're gonna recognize people, and they're gonna ask, what do you do? And this is the time to talk about
Name that. Did we?
Well, that's coming up.
Okay.
That's coming up. The moving wall coming up September 15th through 19th, not an official city event, it's done by a local independent group. Mark, do you want to comment on anything? I know you've had an update on signups.
I've done. No, honestly, it was refreshing to see. It was one of the most easy sales I made.
Awesome.
I mean, I didn't have anyone turn me down.
Yeah.
But you know, I needed 80 slots. I didn't say people, I said slots because Terry alone and Terry and Heidi alone said 10, because each of them said they'd worked 5 days. But I ended up filling about 98 slots, so it was very.
Good
and
job.
I talked to DG today or yesterday, she's heading it up, DG Garcia, she's heading it up, and the wall will be hitting town on a parade route starting at 8:30 on the 15th. Studying over here at Oxford and coming down Oxford Suites and coming down through River District, coming over and doing all that. It'll be a great event.
Okay, and then we do also have some handouts from that, 8.5 by 11 sheets that we received from the group. Winter Glow, it's a bit further down the line. Anything we need to update on that?
Dates on Winter Glow is the opening ceremony is November 19th. And it'll run through January 1st.
Okay. And then do we, again, I'm watching the clock here. Any other opportunities we need to address before the September 22 meeting of this group? Okay, Robin, back to you.
Okay, 2023 budget discussion. I left an email with you, David, and one of the things, if anybody looked at our ordinance, it's on page 4 under section 5, duties and responsibilities. We're supposed to submit an annual written report summarizing the activities for the previous year and future work plans for the coming year. The report will be filed with the mayor and city council no later than the end of August. End of August each year, so any potential funding requests may be evaluated. This has to do with our budget cycle. So, David, we were corresponding. So, David, I still feel that we at least, if we need an extension, even if it's till next year, for justifiable reasons, because the ordinance says that, can we make this to the city and can we put a placeholder in for the budget?
Where I think we'll definitely be talking about budget for this group, but the thing I want to know from you folks was, and granted, this is all new for a couple of months. What do you see some of the budgetary needs being that we may want to bring forth to the council? We've talked about one of those tonight already,
Yeah.
but are there other things you feel that you've maybe seen a need for, being at farmer's market or whatever else you've been involved with or thinking ahead on? You know, I mean, even the little things, do we need to buy more easels?
So, okay, I asked for a budget, but I can't give you an amount, but I want to be prepared that these, whether it be farmers market or the barefoot in the park, at looking at different, I keep on saying swag. But this,
Okay.
Does everybody agree that
Everyone.
everything that we went to, that kids and general public is interested, whether it be flags, but let's go beyond flags. So I want some money in the budget. I would like to request that, please.
I agree,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Do we need to make? a
People
motion?
love.
I don't think you need that much. Well, I will address that too.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Squishy balls.
Yeah,
But useful
yeah,
stuff, useful,
like that.
useful stuff too, you know, people like useful things.
Stuff, just stuff.
If you
Yeah.
guys would like, I can forward you some information when we do kind of city stuff like that, or we do mugs or water bottles,
Catalog.
things like that.
Yeah.
And do that, so I can forward you some places that I.
Yeah, and then if you can do that forwarded, then let's give our selections back to David so we can have it in the budget.
Yeah.
What else would I like for the budget? I would love to have some more flip charts. When we're out there on the farmer's market, we have one flip chart, but we have several. There might be some items and
You're talking to easels, right?
yes,
Yeah.
Yes,
because
we need more than one.
Yeah.
we need more than one. Okay.
I think we need like 5. And the only reason, and I'm not being smart at it,
I'm not.
I think we ought to have 5 because maybe we only use 2 at a time. But there might be times when we need 3. There might be times when we need 2 here and 2 here.
Because you know what, we're not just recording on a polling survey situation. Sometimes we're recording things that we need to remember about people's comments too. When they just generally talk about construction here and what's going on, so that we can grasp and get the comments, because that's another part that we need to be paying attention to. And it, sometimes they're general, so we need 5. Are we still on the Christmas list?
Yes.
The budget? Okay, sure. Terry, what would you? The budget, okay.
I don't know, maybe on certain events, we all have the same shirts.
Yeah, I haven't thought on that.
You know, like the golf
Okay, we
shirt,
would like
golf shirt, like your day.
And we
where
would
you
just absolutely love name tags.
Yeah.
We're
that
gonna-
one's already
it's
on
gonna
here.
tell us-
Name tag.
Get to that.
Yeah.
Get to that.
Before I just make my own. You know, that, hello, my name is Robin.
As far as t-shirts go, this isn't in the like name badge department. This is another thing I was thinking for things that are city things. If we could have maybe official volunteer type shirts or something like that somebody gets, that's actually exciting that they get for being a volunteer, right? So we have 4th of July where people actually make those, right? They're doing their own. And we have official city ones for people who are unofficial business or parts of a committee or whatever, right? But if I was gonna do Barefoot in the Park and man the booth, wouldn't it be cool if I got a Barefoot in the Park shirt that year? Yeah, and that, again, I keep kind of pushing this idea of being an official hub for volunteerism. But, and I don't know that that has to be a thing. I'm just, that seems like something, or again, something we get.
They do it for Bloomsday all the time for the volunteers.
Sure, of course, and that's a traditional thing, like, that's not a weird, crazy thought. Also for the boards or bringing out our boards. Something that we bring out that really shows what we've done right now might not be a good time for that, but you know, some of the updates or whatever, whether that's a place for a QR code for some of our digital engagement, or just literally little pictures of kids running a barefoot in the park, just something that is not just informational, but it's a proud kind of place, you know, to bring out that information.
We're trying to, yeah, say, this is who we are, this is what we've done, and in a way that works as a feedback mechanism.
Mhm.
And to get people to join.
Yeah.
We still have open positions.
Yes, we still have open positions.
We'll talk about that too in just a second.
And,
Can we at all, can we still consider a placeholder for the 2023 budget? Because I do believe that we are gonna make,
Yeah, this group is getting, is involved in that, yes.
great, okay.
The report notwithstanding, the idea is, we're going to kind of waive the official report that's in that because the group has not been around for a full year yet. But no, don't be dismayed in thinking we're not in the budget. I think we are.
Yeah, so we're getting ready to formally enter the budget development process. And so now's the right time to have this conversation. My question isn't a technical question, and having the precise answer now isn't important, but if you know it, great. Does the commission have its own budget, or is it submitting requests that get incorporated into the general government budget?
So at this time, the commission is not have a formal budget
Okay.
established. The process for them as a new commission will be justifying.
It's just incorporated into the general government. Okay.
It's
Understood.
partially because the group that started late last year, maybe.
You know, the real fine details on why that is, it would probably be best directed towards Jen,
Okay.
as we went through this with the Parks and Arts Commission. A lot of it at first was seeking donations, like through STCU or other locations or groups like that, because there was no formal budget given to the commission just yet. Now they do, but it was, I want to say about a year and a half of seeking donations for, yeah, kind of, not gifting, obviously, but yeah, we had to redo the donation ordinance, all that kind of stuff, so that we could function as a group without having a budget.
And I would add, since we're getting just kind of started on that process, you don't have to come up with the ideas tonight.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to individually email me or give me a phone call anytime during the next several weeks. Yeah, I'll certainly take that down as an idea.
I'd like to throw something out that's not a specific idea, but just as a reminder from the beginning of our first meeting was, Mayor Chris had mentioned other places that she had visited. They, you know, the Arizona one had the ice cream truck thing with the little tables to talk to the community, and the Michigan one or whatever had a golf cart. I'm not saying we need the golf cart or the ice cream truck, but she was presenting those ideas. And maybe that's something we can think on individually too, aside from these individual things. What is a way for us to engage, you know, whether that's a specific booth or something that we man or whatever, but just thinking from what she presented initially at our first meeting.
Okay, that's good. Okay, I think we've exhausted that.
Okay.
How about the CDC membership update and badges?
Real quick, as was noted, we have currently up to three openings available for this group. And let the rest of the group know that Robin, Summer, and I will be interviewing a potential new member. I think, is that, I assume that's.
Potential new member.
Why else was sitting through this?
That's my first test.
So we'll be interviewing her tomorrow. And then we'll follow up with the rest of you with how things, I think the process is after any interview, the name has to go through to the council. Is that what happened before?
I believe so, yes.
And then so the council next meets early September, then assuming it's on the agenda for that meeting, then they may know if we have an additional member by then. I've been hearing that there may have also been another application turned in, so we're still looking to follow up on that one. As far as membership badges, talked to a place in Spokane. I think I know what we want to do. We're looking at like a 1 inch by 3 inch white plastic with in probably black text your name. Community Engagement Commission, full color tiny Liberty Lake City logo, the side of it. Quick poll, do you want to have magnet backs or pin backs?
Magnet.
Magnet, please.
2 magnets,
Anyone have a card that? Magnets.
magnets,
Magnus is fine.
okay. Mark, any preference? We'll do magnets on that, and I would have made the order this week, but then we have the opportunity to potentially talk to another applicant on Thursday, so who knows, I may just go ahead and make that order, I don't know. I have to ask if there's a
Dry erase.
extra, I have to ask if there's an extra cost to totally redo a whole extra one for just one person. So yeah, so I believe probably at the next meeting we will have.
Excellent. So what I'd like to do is put a proposal on to the commission right now, and it's not going to come to CDC organization discussion. So this is going to take some time, and it's more than just going to be for 2 or 3 minutes, I feel. Does anybody else want, do we feel comfortable within tabling this until either September meeting or make a special workshop and just focus on this? This is a real important, this is going to be probably a portion of our bylaws. I don't know how comfortable is everybody, so I'm really trying to get through all of this.
Robin, I think the idea of a workshop is the best idea.
Yeah, I agree.
That way we
I
would
do
focus
too.
on only on one thing.
Thank you.
And I think, I don't know how we can do this, but I think it needs to be mandatory. I think everybody needs to be, because it is a very important. I think,
This is
I
so
think we,
important.
yeah, I think we need everybody there, because we need everybody's input.
Okay, I'd like a motion in on that so that we know and that this is going to be.
I'm talking about tabling this item first,
Yes.
so we need a motion on that.
Mhm.
I make a motion that we table the CEC organization discussion.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
I,
All opposed? Motion carries. Now we need
Then-
another motion.
Taylor, Mark, do you know for a workshop, do we need to establish the date by vote at this meeting? Or can that be decided later on?
The date, I believe, would need to be established now. In the recording in the minutes. I believe you're gonna table an item currently in the agenda, if that's need to be. Decided, or it has to be like an indefinite tabling. I don't know that you can, I think you either have to make a decision tonight or skip it, not make a decision, but that's. My understanding of it, we don't often do that, so I'm. Ready.
So I would hesitate to speculate without, and the risk of giving the wrong answer. And so give us an opportunity to look into that.
okay.
I'm
That's
assuming
fine,
that you
yeah.
can
Yeah.
call a specially called meeting within the confines of the rules at some point. And so let us find the answer and then get back to the commission.
Awesome. According to that training. 24 hours.
So do you know, do we have the option to let's say they wanted to have the workshop before the next meeting.
That would be ideal.
Do they need to establish that date tonight, or do we just decide on the date and then make a public notice saying the group will be having a workshop?
I want to say it's
Whatever day.
like posting an agenda, it needs to be done 24 hours prior to,
Right.
or the community.
24 hours.
Okay,
Just the trading.
so we can check with everybody's schedules, see what day works for everybody. And then just make the public notice saying, 24 hours plus. The group will be having a workshop on, special workshop.
So it'll essentially be how we set up these meetings where David, you want to send out the initial email, remember, don't reply all, but reply individually for your availability, nail down a date, and then we do the exact same thing, we set up the agenda for it, it's posted 24 hours. We'll see the agenda.
Okay.
Are we able to be here for our workshop?
In this room?
Yeah.
I think it's good.
I'm just putting it out there, that has some scheduling conflict with, we might want to know if we can't do it.
I can, get you guys, or
To him,
David,
to him.
the upcoming meetings that will be in here, between now and the September meeting for you guys, that way we know which dates
Thank you.
are unavailable.
Perfect.
Okay.
We'll check with
Thank
everybody's
you.
schedules.
This is very important, so it looks like the next.
Good
meeting-
call, Robin.
There's just two part and I will get. But if we get a better agenda for the end of the meeting. Fine. So next meeting, September 22nd, 2022, that's our official CBC meeting. And then David will get back to us and get some dates for a specialized workshop meeting, concentrating and focused on the mission, goals, and objectives. And CBC bylaws, okay? Anything else for the good of the order? Heidi, don't see anything, okay?
No, thank you.
Heidi, real quick, I need your phone number.
Okay, Mark, it's,
Hold
yes,
on,
it's,
hold on.
Wait, yeah. Obviously, sorry, can you email me your phone number?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm
I apologize.
I'm perfectly fine to give my phone number. It's on the
No,
internet
no.
anyway.
Email it.
That's fine.
Email it to me, please.
I don't want to.
You gonna call to yell at me for questioning you on that?
I just need it for the, living room.
I know I'm just picking on you. All right. God bless you guys. Thank you.
Okay, anything else for good of the order? Nothing? Meeting's adjourned, 11 p.m.
Thanks. Good job.
Thank you.